This is a special presentation of Socoa Media Radio.
Okay, welcome to this live broadcast of the Scoreboard Addicts podcast. This is a special one for the Rook and I. We're doing this tonight because the Rook's got his draft going on tonight. So it's me. Here I am, always as Nick, your loving and caring Jabberjaw, and of course, I'm with me is going to be Anthony, the Rook. For some reason, I'm not going to say for some reason. Unfortunately, our dear friend TJ, who is always hammered, is really hammered today and couldn't be with us tonight. But of course, he's with us in spirit as always. But we're gonna go over Anthony's draft and his. We got a lot of draft hopefuls with the NFL coming up tomorrow night's kickoff. How do you feel about that, Ant?
I am super excited for football tomorrow night. You have no idea, like how giddy I am. I didn't want to work today. Like I was like, football's tomorrow. I don't have to work today. I'm done. Day's done. Call it a day. It's football tomorrow night. I get 2 days off. Let's just take it easy. Yeah, I'm just so excited. It's been such a long off season. So much, storylines, trades, players moving. Now it's a 17-game season. Super Bowl is gonna be later in February. This is great. I'm excited. What about you, Nick? You excited for this?
I'm a Jet fan. I do my best not to get excited about anything. I think it pisses my girlfriend off, actually. She was asking me a whole bunch of questions. Are you excited about this? I'm not excited about anything ever. You know what I get excited about? When I have a day off and I can sleep in. I get really excited about that. Other than that, I'm kind of like, I hope it's not bad. That's how I feel about everything, I guess. When you've taken that much abuse as a Jet fan, that's pretty much how you look at everything in life. It's like, let's just not die. Yeah. Especially coming off last year. You sit there in your head and you kind of sit there and go, well, I hope it's not as bad as last year.
Yeah.
And then it is. And you're sitting there going, damn it, I shouldn't have said anything.
That's so funny. Yeah, listen, as a Giant fan, it has not been good recent years, but I can at least say my team has won a championship twice in my lifetime, so I'm not as completely upset towards the New York Giants moving forward. And that noise you just heard was my draft pick coming in. So I have one more round left, the 12-man league, fantasy football. So I'm excited about that as well. I just drafted a Pittsburgh Steelers defense. So
who was your number one pick overall?
My number one pick overall was Tyreek Hill from Kansas City.
That's a good move. That's a good
move. I
move.
like to go running backs heavy. Draft running back in the first round. This time I decided Tyreek Hill was there. I had 7th pick. I didn't like the running backs who were left because they're questionable. So I was like, let me go Tyreek Hill. Between him and Adams. And I just felt like, I don't know, Tyreek Hill's just that guy that's so explosive, 90-yard touchdown here and there. Or
he's definitely a home run hitter, yeah.
So that's why I went with him over Devonta Adams. Devonta Adams is an incredible talent, incredible wide receiver. But I'll figure Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes would be the better bet.
So what round are you up to now?
We're in the middle of 14. We're about to be on 15, which is our last round. We have a 12-man league, as I said before, 15 roster spots, 2 wide receivers, a quarterback, 2 running backs, flex, tight end, kicker, defense. So I'm going to draft the kicker in my last round here. I always draft kicker or defense in my last round. That's just my strategy. I went pretty heavy on running backs. I have Antonio Gibson, James Robinson, Trey Sermon, Kareem Hunt. And my wide receivers, obviously, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, and I drafted Boyd and Cortland Sutton and Mike Williams and Marquise Brown. And then I just did Darnell Mooney right before we were here before. My quarterback, I waited for a quarterback as opposed to getting him early on. And I went Matthew Stafford. I feel like he might be have an explosive season in LA this year. So I'm looking forward to him playing in LA because I think Stafford, I always thought he was a great talent, great quarterback, but just with him being in Detroit, it was always an issue. And they just never put a good team around him. We had the Calvin Johnson team, but they just would never, ever put it all together. But I think he's still a great quarterback.
Who's your backup?
Oh shit! Did I draft the backup?
That'd be pretty good. Actually, backup quarterback's a huge, very important thing, especially in today's NFL. But
Yeah. You know
backup
what?
quarterback should
Let's see
definitely.
who's left because I didn't. Oh, Joe Burrow's left. You know what? Instead of a kicker, I'll probably drop one of my wide receivers because I have so many now, and then just pick up a kicker later on.
Yeah, that's probably the best option is to pick up a kicker after the fact, because kickers are so hit and miss in the NFL. You know, one day they're the best kicker in the league, the next day they get cut because they missed an extra point or two.
Yeah, and you know what? With fantasy, I always do a kicker and defense. I always wait. I don't keep them the same one the whole year because I feel like defenses sometimes they get hot or they're playing a shitty team. Like sometimes I'll pick up whoever's playing in Jacksonville that week and out Jags.
Who's on that Jags jersey?
Ramsey. It's a Jalen Ramsey jersey.
He's
love
still on the Jags, right?
With that, he's not on the Jags. None of my Jags jerseys have players that are still on them. Rest in peace, Gardner Minshew, who, if anyone has followed along with us, I made that montage video in memoriam of Gardner Minshew getting traded to Philly.
It seems like a lot of people like that video too, so that's a good.
Yeah, it got pretty good. The only thing that sucks, we can't monetize it because of the use of the song that we used in it. But
it happens. It happens. It's not about the money. It's about the fandom. It's about the fans, the fandom, and the laughs, and the beers, and the scotch.
We do this for sport. This is just for fun.
For shits and giggles. Just for shits and giggles.
Exactly.
But yeah, I was talking about the draft. A friend of mine had the draft. Well, yesterday we were sitting at dinner, and his cousin's doing his draft for him because we were out in Vegas. And he was talking about, I need a backup quarterback. And he was getting a backup quarterback in the last round. And that's why I thought of that. Because
it's funny you. Thanks for reminding me because I probably would have forgotten. I would have been able to pick him up anyway because I don't think anyone was drafting Joe Burrow anyway. But it's funny, both my fantasy teams I drafted both Stafford and Burrow. So obviously I'm high on both of them. But speaking about NFL season, actually before we get into that, Nick, you did go to Vegas. So why don't we
I did. I went to Vegas. It was fun. No, I went to Vegas for like 2 days. Then I headed out to Lake Havasu City, Arizona.
Yeah.
Which is like a boat town.
Yeah.
It was it's a boat town out there in Arizona. Everybody has a boat. Everybody. It was like
the pontoon.
Say again?
Did you rent a pontoon?
Yeah. We have rented a captain actually. So we had a whole captain. He had his own boat and all that stuff. So we didn't have to worry about drunk sailing. We dropped the ball though, because there was one thing we did not do.
What's that?
We didn't play I'm on a boat the entire time we were there. We were on that boat for 3 days. Didn't play I'm on a boat one time.
And now I'm on a boat, the Old Dominion song. You're talking about I'm on a boat.
I'm on a boat from the Lonely Island. Yes. Why would I sing a song by Old Dominion? No, I'm singing I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. The Lonely Island. That's the only on a boat that's worth talking about. I'm not going to mention Old Dominion. No,
it's funny because I played that song earlier, the Old Dominion one with my daughter, and she went nuts for it. She was dancing around. So that's always why.
Isn't your daughter like 3?
What's that?
Isn't your daughter 3?
She's 2. She just turned 2.
She's 2.
Yeah, she just turned 2.
What year is it?
I
lost all of last year, so I can't remember anything.
2021, Nick. She was born in 2019, so it'll be 2 years.
Oh, that's why I said 3, because 19 to 20. Okay, I was going 19, 2021. That's why I was like, she's 3, 19, 20, 21.
She's 3 years old. No.
The German 3, right there.
Yeah. I think there's a country, though, somewhere that they actually count your first birthdays when you're born. That's
stupid. I want to find that country and slap them for being dumb.
I forgot where it was. I looked up somewhere, and they said that. So she would actually be 3 in whatever country that was. So.
Yeah, that's a terrible country. Don't ever go there. Trying to make people older than they are. I don't think so, pal. Not up in here.
All right, well, let's jump into this NFL football mega show that we're doing. We're doing no other sports. We might say Yankees just because we're upset about the Yankees and the game is on right now.
Yeah, it's on right now.
We're jumping into the predictions part of this. I mean, we have week 1 games, a couple matchups. Jets are playing the Panthers, a revenge game for Sam Darnold. You got the Giants playing the Denver Broncos. I don't know if there's much allure there besides two young quarterbacks trying to still make a name for themselves with Daniel Jones. And I guess, is Drew Lock starting? And they went with Bridgewater.
Bridgewater starting.
So maybe with Bridgewater still, he's one of those quarterbacks who's trying to find the spot. Vikings, Saints, Panthers, and now the Broncos, fourth team, his young career. So that's another one there to look at. A big game I liked was this. Who's the Packers playing the Saints, but they're playing in Jacksonville due to the Hurricane Ida. So that's a good game too. I think you have Jameis Winston versus Aaron Rodgers. Those are both gunslingers. Other big games I think would be Dolphins Patriots, only because you got Tua versus his former teammate Mac Jones.
Did you say Browns versus Chiefs?
I actually was just getting to that. And what is that? Is that the night game? Or no?
That is it's a game. It's a 4:30 game.
Well, I actually went too far and I said Dolphins Bills. Oh, sorry. Oh, did I say Dolphins Patriots?
Yeah, it's Dolphins Pats.
Yeah.
That's the game.
Oh yeah, Browns Chiefs. No, I went too far into and I was getting to September 19th. And I was like, wait, this does not make sense. So Browns Chiefs 4:25 game. The Sunday night game is Bears Rams. I don't really like that too much. Monday night. They actually only have one Monday night game this year, which I don't like. I usually open a week to get to two. Mm-hmm. Ravens versus the Raiders, which I don't know if there's much to that besides watching Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, I guess. I don't know. I don't really like that game either.
Well, the Ravens just lost like every running back they have, so much so that they set they just signed Le'Veon Bell to the practice squad.
Yeah.
And Trenton Cannon, they also just signed. Yeah. They're just picking up all the Jets discarded running backs.
When they got rid of what's his name got hurt? J.K. Dobbins. Who else got hurt in the team?
Damn it. I can't remember his name.
Was it Gus Edwards?
I think his last name's Knight.
Gus Edwards, isn't he from Staten Island?
No, that I don't know. That's some deep conversation. But
so Gus Edwards, yes, in fact, he's not from Staten Island. He's not born in Staten Island, but he is from Staten Island. He went to Tottenville High School. But he's originally from Liberia.
Aren't we all?
He attended Rutgers. So local guy in New York, New Jersey area here. I don't know if I don't think he's injured. I hope not. I hope he gets a starting job. Yeah, he's supposed to get heavier workloads. I don't think he got hurt. So that's the one running back that's still healthy for the Ravens. So
yeah, they lost a lot. I mean, when you're signing Le'Veon Bell to your practice squad, a couple things come to mind for me are how bad did he manage his money through the course of his career that he's sitting here as a former Pro Bowl, all-pro running back, and now he's on the practice squad.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's what that says to me. When you're a pro athlete and you're taking minor league assignments and practice squad assignments, you mismanaged your money.
Not even that, mismanaged just his whole contract situation in Pittsburgh.
I mean, his money. That's money. Like,
yeah,
if you gave me $11 million, I could live for the rest of my life happy. All right. These guys get $40 million in a very short amount of time, and they still got to go and sit there and do practice squad to make ends meet.
Yeah.
Like, what did you do with all your money, man? Like, Le'Veon Bell should have been able to walk away from football with some form of pride as opposed to signing practice squad deals.
With the Ravens.
Hoping to make the Ravens main roster.
Yeah.
At what is he, 30 years old now?
I think he is, yeah.
Not the greatest of signs, if I'm saying, like, it just isn't, Not hating on the guy. I'm just saying, like, dude, you got to be a little desperate to be signing practice squad deals at 30 years old when you've been a Pro Bowler previously.
Yeah, I think that year when he sat out with the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think that was like the end for his career. And then they Jets signed him, give him the deal. And then Adam Gase was just like, I'm not going to use him.
Adam Gase is like, Frank Gore, 50 years old, but I'm going to run this ball.
Frank Gore is...
I'm not hating on Frank Gore. Frank Gore's got a lot of heart.
No, I love Frank Gore.
I'm going to hate on him a little bit because he's from Miami and it's all about Florida State, but neither here nor there.
Did he retire yet?
He's still recovering from his injury, so he hasn't officially retired.
Oh, I hope he comes back. That'd be so awesome. He'd be like 40-something years old.
Come on, you. Come on, you. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know it is.
That's ridiculous. You don't do that.
But it would be cool, and it would be Frank Gore. It would be so Frank Gore to come back. So, Nick, why don't we jump into this, make some predictions here. So, looking at the divisions of the NFL, let's jump on to let's go West Coast first, only because we have our interests and biases towards the East teams. So let's go with NFC West. What kind of predictions you got out there?
For who's winning?
For who's winning it, yes.
Who's winning the West? I'm going to say the Rams.
You say the Rams?
I'm going to say the Rams. They have a veteran quarterback. They have a pretty stout defense with, held down by Aaron Donald and them. And having a strong trench is very, it's very conducive toward being successful. So I'm going to say the Rams are going to win the NFC West. What do you think?
No, I do like the Rams. I was saying before about how I like Matthew Stafford. I'm just looking at the last year standings to see how shaped that. It was Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals, 49ers. 49ers obviously have a new talent with Trey Lance coming in. I don't know if did he get the starting job yet? No, right? They're not having him start yet, which I think is smart, South Dakota product. But this might sound crazy. I'm doing both predictions here. I'm not going what I actually feel like. I'm going to go Cardinals. Cardinals to win the NFC West, or at least make the playoffs. Only because I think they boosted a little bit of that defense. They got J.J. Watt coming in. The Kyler Murray's going to make that jump year, I think. And this is a make or break year for both Kyler Murray and for Cliff Kingsbury. They both got to show up this year.
I don't think it's a make or break year for Kyler Murray.
I would think so. I think he's been in the league for 3 years.
Yes, but he hasn't had like a bad season.
He hasn't.
Pretty sure he's had pretty successful seasons since he's been in the league. It's just not been breakout, what you expect from a number one pick overall. But that's there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. When you're, I saw something on Twitter the other day, and somebody said, I don't know why everybody gets so worked up about top 10 picks. There are the amount of successful top 10 picks that are like great or even average is like 60% or something like that, or like 55%. So it doesn't even matter. And I was like, okay, what's the percentage of picks 10 through 32, or 11 through 32? What's the percentage of them being average? Because I guarantee you it's less than whatever the percentage is for the top 10.
Yeah.
So top 10. Yeah. You want him to be a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback as a number one pick overall. As a Jet fan, I'd just be happy if my quarterback didn't turn the ball over every third snap and freaking wasn't had a completion percentage over 59. I'd be content with that as a Jets fan. So, I don't think Kyler Murray's on the hot seat, so to speak.
I'm wrong. I thought it was his fourth year. It's his third year, so it's not really the make or break year for him. I think
honestly, even if it was his fourth year, I have not heard nearly as bad things about Kyler Murray. I've heard way worse press about Baker Mayfield, and he's made the playoffs.
It's true.
Well,
that's because Baker Mayfield has that stigma with him that he's the party guy, kind of like a Johnny Manziel type of thing. He's not.
No. Johnny Manziel. That's Zach Wilson. Ask Colin Coward.
Yeah.
Johnny Manziel.
I'm looking at his numbers. Color, you're right. His career completion percentage is 65.5.
That's great.
He's going for nearly 4,000 yards in 2 seasons. His rushing numbers are pretty good too as well. 544 yards in his first year, 819 yards last year rushing the ball. 15 total touchdowns as a quarterback in 2 years. So
I think that's the biggest issue.
46.
He doesn't score enough touchdowns, but he got one guy to throw to these days, maybe 1.5. And his running backs aren't really running that great. I think that's the biggest struggle is you need to, I don't care what anybody says. I get it. And running the ball is not as necessary as it once was. That's totally true. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you have to have balance. And the most successful young quarterbacks in the league generally have somebody they can hand the ball off to and just kind of like sit back for a second and breathe. And I think that's the most important part. And that should be the concern for any team that just drafted a young quarterback, do you have a running game? Because if you don't have a running game or like a tight end, an outlet to go to, that kid's going to struggle because they're just going to stack the deck against him.
Yeah.
They're going to blitz every down, and that's it. And if you look at a lot of the young, successful quarterbacks, when they came through, they had somebody to run the ball.
No, that's definitely, I agree with that point completely. And I guess he really hasn't had that running back help. Remember, they traded David Johnson last year to the Texans. They had who's the big name running back? I guess last year who had a really good season towards the end. I'm trying to remember his name. I don't think he's there anymore, but he had a pretty good year. I can't remember. His name's escaping me. But talking about strength of schedule for the NFC West, you have the Rams at the 10th hardest schedule. Seahawks have the 11th. The Cardinals the 13th. The Niners the 19th. So they're all within the top 20 of the hardest schedules. So you're thinking about that as well. Looking at it, I think with the Rams obviously facing a lot harder teams.
So my question is always, can you beat the teams that you play against? That's the biggest question for me, because you're going to play those guys 2 times a season.
Yeah.
So you can actually inflict losses on your opponents. So even if you lost to everybody else in the league, you can still damage the guys you're competing against.
Yeah, of course. And
that's how I look at that. So like, even if the Rams lose to everybody else they play this year, right? They can still give 2 losses to everybody else in their division.
Mm-hmm. And that's important too, because then, the tiebreaker always comes down to what your schedule is with your division. So.
Or strength of schedule, depending on what your what it comes down to. So I think that's something to pay attention to as well. I don't think I don't think that the Seahawks have the cohesiveness. I feel like there's a lot of dissension within the Seahawks organization.
Yes.
This offseason seemed really weird with Russell Wilson. I know their left tackle is not happy with his contract situation. Jamal Adams, as soon as somebody else makes $1 more than him, will not be happy with his contract situation. Yes, folks, I know he just signed a new deal. As soon as a real safety gets a bigger deal than him, he'll hold out again. That's the type of person he is. In his mind, he's the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL, even though he plays linebacker. And I know he's listed as a safety. Safeties can usually cover somebody. He can't cover a bed with a blanket. So he must be a linebacker because he can't play safety. So, I don't know if the Seahawks have the team mindset to move forward as a team with a lot of individuals on their team.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think Jamal Adams, we've always said this, we call, on social media and stuff, we call him Blitz Boy. He's only famous for his blitz. He always comes off as a DE as opposed to a safety, coming off the edge there when no one's blocking him. And that's what he's best at. But so Joe just texted us. Apparently, there's a drop ready. Do you want to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it right now.
Let's do it. How
excited are you for football?
You're excited. Feel these nipples.
That is incredible. I wish we'd had that earlier.
That was good. That was good,
Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
What's that from? What's that from? Basketball? No, it's from
that's from basketball.
It's from basketball. That's what I thought.
I mean, and then also I really feel for you because I see you. It's so fun actually, like sitting back producing this. But I see you in your Jet stuff, and I have the perfect drop for you.
Oh no, we suck again.
That's a good drop when we mentioned the Yankees.
That hurt. Bad. Yeah, that's a Yankees drop. That's the way this season goes. Win 13 straight, lose 8 of 10.
I'm sure we'll hear that drop week 3 into the Jets season.
No, don't be hurtful.
I'm sorry.
That's a super producer there.
Go back to your show.
Thank you, Joe. We appreciate you. You're the man there doing the producer work there.
I heard
drops in. But so as we're just finishing up the NFC West, let's go to the other side, the AFC West.
Well, before we leave the NFC West real quick, so when do you think Trey Lance starts?
Like 2 or 3 games in.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like what's his name really wants him to start. Shanahan. And he's originally said in the preseason that he was going to start him, like off the bat. I don't know what happened, but obviously they're going with.
I'll tell you what happened. He went 5 for 17 passing in his first game.
Yeah, that's probably. I don't know. If Jimmy Garoppolo, obviously, if he plays well, then you're not going to see him. But if he starts playing like shit.
See, here's my problem with the whole situation, right? And people will say they're coming off a Super Bowl appearance just not too long ago. But that Super Bowl team is not the team that they're playing with today. I'm not saying that the cogs and the pieces aren't the same. You probably do have a lot of the same pieces, and that's great. What I'm saying is that just because you were great 2 years ago doesn't mean you're great now. And you don't know what that mix was. Maybe Robert Saleh did have a big thing to do with why that Super Bowl team made them Super Bowl caliber. I'm not saying they're not Super Bowl caliber now without him. I'm just saying is there are little intricacies that happen amongst sports that you can't really figure out, and it's hard to replicate because if you could, you'd win every year.
Yeah.
So to sit there and say, well, 2 years ago they made the Super Bowl, or 3 years ago they made the Super Bowl, it's like, okay, that's great. That's not now. That's then. And even if you had the same guys, they're now 2-3 years older, or they're no longer with the team, or they're coming back off an injury, which it seems everybody in the 49ers is. So the question I have is, while Trey Lance may have a higher ceiling than Jimmy Garoppolo, right?
Yeah.
Is he that much of an upgrade this season? And does it hurt or help his development to play if they don't win?
I mean, it's a good point. I always think it always helps because, I mean, I've seen it before Eli Manning where he was on those bad Giants team, and he went through to all the motions and learned the adversity part of it. I think that's always important when it comes to a young quarterback, but you also don't want to put your young quarterback in a position where, the offensive line's terrible and he's just gonna get hit every time he goes out there. Like Joe Burrow. I love Joe Burrow in college, but he came to the Bengals and you have the situation where he tears his ACL because of the, because the offensive line just isn't as good. So I just worry about that with young guys, but I don't
worry about the hits.
The Niners is that bad. So I'm not too concerned about Trey Lance, but I would probably say if Jimmy Garoppolo is struggling, I would probably say you see maybe 2-3 games, maybe 4. But the thing is, it's a little bit of a longer season now, so you don't have to pull the trigger as soon as people would do earlier, and say different in past seasons. It's not the 16 games; it's 17. It's one extra game, but I mean, with football, you got to make a decision quick. You can't hold on to it. It's a short season in terms of game wise. So you got to decide whether or not this is the guy I want sooner rather than later. So I think with Trey Lance, you may see him sooner.
The only reason that's the case is because owners don't want to pay players. That's the only reason you have to decide whether or not this guy is the guy for you. Yeah. Because his contract is 5 years, and at year 4, they're like, fuck him. I don't want to pay this guy. That's the only reason. It's a money thing. It has nothing to do whatsoever with the fact that you're like, well, we have to win now. No, it's because you don't want to pay him if he's winning later.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the Chargers had Drew Brees. I'll say it again. The Chargers had Drew Brees.
Yeah. And
they traded him away because after 2 seasons, he wasn't the MVP of the league. That is ridiculous. Because guess what he became? MVP of the league. Guess what he did? He won a Super Bowl. Guess what they did not do? And I'm not taking anything away from Phillip Rivers. I think he's an outstanding quarterback, far better than Eli Manning, but he ain't got a Super Bowl. Don't shake your finger at me. Phillip Rivers, look at the stats. Phillip Rivers is a better quarterback than Eli Manning, who can't even spell his name.
Agree to disagree, but we got to move on.
Listen, winning a Super Bowl don't make you better, okay? The team won. He happened to be there. They won despite his inability to spell.
That's not true, but okay.
He did.
Well,
he 2 good throws in his whole career.
It's an argument for another day. We have to move on to the AFC West. I think we should be quick here. I don't see much change here in the AFC West. I'm going Chiefs. How much of a
yeah, Chiefs. I mean, I'm going to go Chiefs, and if Mahomes gets injured, I'm going Chargers. They're my number 2.
If Mahomes gets injured, I mean, who's the backup there?
Doesn't matter.
Do you even know?
Doesn't matter.
You don't know because
it's not Mahomes.
It's not Patrick Mahomes.
And I just want to point out, if he didn't want to be Pat Mahomes because his dad is Pat Mahomes, I get that. I feel you on that because I'm named after my dad and I don't go by the same nickname that he does. He could have been called Trick Mahomes, and that sounds so cool. Trick Mahomes, right? Instead of being the first part, like people who are Christopher and go by Topher instead of Chris, he could have been Trick Mahomes.
I like that.
Something to think about. If you ever have a son, Rook, you can name him Patrick and just call him Little Tricky as a joke, as a nickname. Call him the Trickster.
I don't think I'll have that problem, but I don't want to spend too much on AFC West. I don't think those teams are competing. We
don't need to talk about Chucky. We don't need to talk about Bridgewater. Although I am happy. Shout out to my friend Dennis, who's a big Broncos fan. You know, Dennis. Hopefully Teddy Bridgewater brings that team to some semblance of average because they're not going to be anything more than that.
Yeah, I don't think they will be. I don't like the quarterbacks there. Raiders, they still with Derek Carr. They gave up on him. They still have him. I don't know what.
Derek Carr's not bad though. Derek Carr the failure of the Raiders has nothing to do with Derek Carr. It has everything to do with their GM Mike Mayock. They hired Mike Mayock thinking that he was the greatest draft genius in all of drafthood. Right? There is a reason that these guys like Mel Kiper Jr. aren't GMs. It's because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're guessing like everybody else. And honestly, their guesses aren't that great.
No,
because
I think Mel Kiper, I love this. This is the point I always bring up, was a commercial when D. Milliner was drafted. They're like, D. Milliner is the next Darrelle Revis. D. Milliner was not the next Darrelle Revis. Not even, he came.
Why do you got to bring shit up like that?
He couldn't even hope his. No, I'm just saying, just guessing.
But why do you got to bring up, you could have brought up anybody else. Why do you have to bring up D. Milliner?
Because D. Milliner compared to Darrelle Revis is probably the worst.
But why did you have? You could have brought up like David, like, oh, Mark Sanchez is going to be the next Joe Namath because they say that about everybody that gets drafted by the Jets. Like, he'll be the next Broadway Joe, and you bring up D. friggin' Milliner.
He was big on Jimmy Clausen as well. And
Thank you. Thanks. Anybody else?
Horrible too, and he liked Jimmy Clausen.
Fuck, man. Like I don't go through enough struggle right now. All right.
But I would say the only challenge I think the Chiefs are going to have will be the Chargers. I do like Justin Herbert. I think he had a good rookie year. I mean, there's more film out there on him now because he had a full year, but I still think he's, he might be the only challenge to the Chiefs in the AFC West. But other than that, I'm not really too intrigued by the AFC West race.
Yeah, when we live on the East Coast, we're never intrigued about anything that goes on and anything with the words West in it.
That's true, but also with the NFL, at least it's always 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock. We go.
That's true. That's true.
So we know more about the West Coast games than we do in baseball.
That is true.
Yeah. So let's not spend too much time on the West. That's it for that. Let's go into the North. Start with the AFC North. We have Steelers, Ravens, Browns, Bengals. I don't know. This is a toss-up. I don't know who I'm going to go with this. I'm going to decide soon, but while we're talking about it, but I don't know if the Steelers, Big Ben still got it. Do you think he still got it?
I think I'm going Browns.
How do you think go Browns or Ravens?
I can't see how they've gotten better is my problem.
The Steelers.
The Steelers. I cannot see how they have gotten better.
And their last year, they were undefeated at one point, but they were probably like the worst undefeated team to those 11 weeks. They were playing their schedule was a cupcake schedule.
Right.
And as cupcake as you can get in the NFL, they had it. I mean, it wasn't a great schedule, and I think that kind of made it seem like they were better than they actually were. I'm between the Ravens and the Browns when it comes to AFC North. I don't think the Bengals are there yet. I don't think they have the protection for Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow eventually will become a great quarterback, but this is not the year he's going to. Listen,
I hate that conversation of this guy who got injured will be no, he won't. You can't sit there. I'm not saying he won't. I'm just saying you can't sit there and say Joe Burrow will be a great quarterback. No, he won't, because if he gets injured again this season, that's the end of his career. He's dead. If he gets Joe Theismann this year, he's not a freaking quarterback in the NFL anymore, right? Just like Giants fans were like, Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be the next Jerry Rice. I really haven't heard shit from Odell Beckham Jr. since, I don't know, a year before he got traded to the Browns?
Yeah.
Haven't heard a goddamn thing from the guy because he can't stay healthy. So much for being Jerry Rice.
No, I get it right. Obviously, injuries, barring any injuries, I do think Joe Burrow, not a great quarterback, but he's going to be one of those serviceable QBs.
I don't know. Because,
I mean, injuries, but you can never, that's for anything.
We could say that but he's already been injured once. So we don't know how he's coming back off this previous injury.
I mean, he hasn't looked bad so far.
In the preseason?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
With one quarter.
We're placing predictions off the preseason. The Jets are winning the Super Bowl.
Zach Wilson's the MVP.
Seriously.
You know what? I know you want Browns. I'm going to go Ravens. I think they still have. I know they have the injuries in the running back position, but I still think they have a good quarterback there. Obviously not passing wise, but he's still a playmaker. I'm going to go Ravens.
You're going Ravens?
Yeah.
It's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see how that pans out for you.
I'm going, bro.
They have no running game, and I don't know why, but I've seen a lot of hate on Lamar Jackson lately.
They have no running game. They have a quarterback named Lamar Jackson. That's their running game.
yeah, that only works if he has somebody to fake a handoff to. If he bootlegs or if he sits there and does some play action, then that works. If they know they're not doing play action, that doesn't work anymore.
He has Staten Island's own Gus Edwards.
Okay, he went to Tottenville. He ain't that good. You went to Curtis, then we could talk, but because everybody knows Curtis is the powerhouse on this island. But
Well, I'm still gonna go with the Ravens over the Browns. I don't know why. I just feel like I don't know. I like a coach. John Harbaugh is a great coach. I think he'll figure a way out.
Say his name one more time.
John Harbaugh.
Harbaugh.
What did I say? Harbaugh.
You did. I was like, did he say Harborough?
I meant Harbaugh.
I think he mixed Ed Yarborough with John Harbaugh. But hey, are you excited about football?
Our producer's sleeping.
He's sleeping behind the wheel.
And if you're excited, feel these nipples.
You know, I'm going to say something funny. It sounds like Joe.
Nah, it's chill.
Who's saying it? Is it Bob Costas?
It's Bob Costas from basketball.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's
Bob Costas and Al Michaels, right?
Yeah. After 4 grueling months of the playoffs.
That's
we've now
basketball.
reached- Yeah.
So obviously basketball used the basketball style format for playoffs where everybody makes the playoffs. And 6 months later, you're sitting there going, Jesus Christ, is this over yet? That's why they call the NBA finals the finals, because it's like watching a fucking test in the end.
Yeah, pretty much.
But Joe, that's a compliment. Bob Costas is a great announcer, and
That's true.
So,
He's got a radio face.
I'll take that.
got a radio face.
Radio face or radio body?
Uh-oh. Go turn it off. Turn it off again.
Oh, our producer Joe is totally walking around. He's doing his best Burt Kreischer impression. He's got no shirt on for some reason.
I'm getting the dad bod ready.
You don't have a kid.
There's one on the way.
Oh shit!
There it is. Congratulations to Joe.
Congratulations
Thank
to
you.
Joe. Bun in the oven. Moving on to the NFC North.
Well, NFC North. I don't know. I think I don't want to pick the Packers, but I'm probably gonna pick the Packers.
You want to pick the Bears?
You going with the Bears?
I'm not going the Bears. I said you want to pick the Bears.
No, I'm not. I'm not going too crazy with this one. I just don't feel good enough. The Lions, Jared Goff.
Listen, with their pick that they just had in Penei Sewell, who's a left tackle in college, not playing left tackle.
Yeah,
that says everything you need to know about the Lions.
Yeah, and also their coach is a little crazy,
but they're not dysfunctional like the Jets are.
No, they're not.
Okay.
It's because they're not in New York. That's the reason.
Pretty much. Who gives a shit about Detroit? City's burning down. Nobody cares about football.
Kirk Cousins, does he have one more run at him to like make us like slip into a playoff spot with the Vikings?
You know what? I'm going to be real with you. I have always felt like Kirk Cousins to me has always been a backup.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo, Kirk Cousins. There are some guys that are like thrust into the starting world. But in my head, I'm like, that guy never deserved to be a starter. People like John Kitna, even Chad Pennington, I never got that starter vibe off of him. You know, like I was saying it the other day. Oh, he hurt his shoulder every day. He couldn't go more than 5 yards. If the game were on the line, you wouldn't want any of those guys on the field. And that's not your quarterback. If that's how you feel about your quarterback and you're like, my game's on the line right now, I need to throw a fucking bomb to win this thing. Who do you want? If you're not going to say the guy on your team,
it's a backup.
Then you got to get him off your team, man. That guy can't be your starter because you don't pinch hit for Derek Jeter in the 9th inning.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett did the same thing for Phil Rivers last year with the Colts.
Yeah.
Sorry, my eye keeps bothering the contact. I keep touching my eye,
But Phil Rivers at the end of his career. We're not talking about someone like Kirk Cousins, who's kind of been mediocre his entire career.
Yeah.
He's never been. He's been successfully mediocre. That's what I'll call it. Where you win games, but nothing very impressive about it. But those are the kind of guys you call them game managers, as opposed to game changers.
He is a game manager, Kirk Cousins. I would definitely give him that.
You honestly don't want that from your starting franchise quarterback.
Well, we had this conversation before about Zach Wilson, where he said that you got to risk it every now and then.
You got to do something special. Game management should be done at the coaching level.
Yeah, it shouldn't be at the quarterback.
Because you can teach game management.
Yeah.
You can't teach talent and skill.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised that the Vikings slipped into a
wild card.
A wild card.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Packers. I gotta pick the Packers for my boys Ace and Crash. I gotta pick the Packers.
No, I'm doing it for Ace and Crash as well.
All right, there we go. Go Pack, go. Have you ever heard that like at a Packers game that has that weird music where it's like go Pack, go?
No,
I would love to know where they got that music from, because it sounds like super cheesy 70s music, like Three's Company, like somebody just walked into the room and that was their theme music. When they walk into the room, it goes I don't know where it came from, but I dig it. All right.
So here's the thing, I guess, would take me off to the Bears. They have the third hardest schedule.
Yeesh.
The Packers are fourth behind them,
and they probably have a really tough time at quarterback, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think Justin Fields is as good as everybody's giving him credit for right now.
Well, I was just looking it up. What's the depth chart there? He's not.
It's Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, and I don't think they cut Nick Foles yet.
So here's, I think, the equalizer here for this is the Bears, Packers, Vikings, and Lions are all the top 6 of strength of schedule. And I would say the Lions and Vikings probably won't be able to handle it. And not even the Bears. The Bears are 3, Packers are at 4. I don't see those teams handling the strength of schedule they have based upon the 2020 record, as well as the Packers would.
Yeah.
And that's basically, so yeah, I think it's pretty good for us to go with both Packers, but the Lions, they don't thrill me ever. So I'm going to be against the Lions for sure there. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for the NFC North. And we did this before for Trey Lance, but how long do you think you see until how many games do you see Justin Fields?
My serious answer is 4. My joke answer is after the first 2 quarters.
I'm actually giving it a little more. I think they're going to be a little more careful with him because he's the future. I think Dalton's definitely a serviceable quarterback. He's not the greatest, but I think you probably won't see Justin Fields till the back end of the season. Maybe 9-10 games in, if they're doing bad. If they're doing well, you're not going to see him at all. But I think they're going to be careful with him.
Yeah, if they're doing good, you're not going to see them at all.
No, but they're really not going to see him. But
there's no need for it.
No, and I think that could be one of the ones where you may not see him for a little while. I think definitely back end 9-10 game, maybe. That's what my prediction is there. Moving on to the South, and we'll start NFC South. Saints, Bucks, Panthers, Falcons. Do you see a bounce back here for the Falcons or no?
No, not at all. It's Bucks. The Bucks. Come on, they're Super Bowl winning champions right now. There's no reason the Bucks shouldn't win the South.
They didn't win it last year.
I see. Yeah, you know what though? Did anybody else get better? I mean, other than Pitts going to the Falcons, which I don't really solves any of their problems.
They lost Julio.
And they lost Julio, who is, that's not something you recover from overnight.
No.
So you got rid of one dynamic playmaker, and Pitts is a freak, physically speaking.
He's gonna be good.
But you don't trade a wide receiver on the outside for a tight end over the middle.
Even though he's almost like a wide receiver.
Even so, you don't trade a middle wide receiver for, like, you wouldn't trade a slot guy for an outside guy. No. I'm pretty sure it was Julio Jones and who was his partner? Pat White? Not Pat White. Roddy White.
Roddy White, yeah.
Long time ago, they had a conversation of who's the best wide receiver tandem. Is it the Giants or the Falcons? Because the Giants at the time had Cruz and I think OBJ.
Yeah, it was OBJ.
And either Roddy White or Julio Jones goes. The big boys play on the outside, so don't even bring up Julio. Don't bring up freaking Victor Cruz to me.
Yeah, he's a slot guy,
and he's not wrong. The big boys you get paid to play on the outside. Being a slot guy, you'll always be the third guy.
I'm actually going with the Falcons depth chart. I know they still have obviously Calvin Ridley. They have Pitts in there. Their other wide receivers, let's see.
But I'm gonna go with the Bucs to win the South. The Panthers ain't doing it.
Russell Gage is the other wide receiver there they have.
The Panthers ain't doing it. I don't think that the Falcons are going to be that great this year. And as much as I like Jameis Winston, I feel like his team's too dysfunctional as well to be successful.
Did you see that story today? They cut Latavius Murray after his best season because he wouldn't take a pay cut.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, that happens. They had Alvin Kamara. Do they need him?
That happens, but you obviously don't need him for Alvin Kamara. But I mean, if you didn't pay Taysom Hill $16 million a year, you probably
that was the stupid part. You just paid a backup who's probably never going to start for you $16 million.
With Sean Payton, that's his Swiss Army knife. That's like
a gadget player.
Yeah, his quarterback, wide receiver, running back.
So was Brad Smith. He didn't make $16 million a year.
No, I agree. I don't think he's worth $16
Tebow didn't make $16 million a year.
Yeah. I hate to do it too, but I guess the Bucs. I'm gonna go Bucs too, I think.
Well, I mean, dude, they're Super Bowl. They're the champions, man.
Yeah, and I would also say I think they brought back all 22 starters.
Yeah, they did.
Which is impressive for a Super Bowl team. And let's look at strength of schedule. Buccaneers are the 29th.
So they have one of the easiest schedules in the league. Yeah. Like I said, Bucs are going to win their division.
Bucs will win. Yeah, I'm going to go bold prediction here. Panthers, wild card. CMC's back. Sam Darnold. I'm just doing it to hurt you.
I can see that because we have their pick for next season. Fuck you, bro.
No, I don't think.
Hope Saquon tears his ACL walking onto the field.
I didn't say anyone to get hurt.
I don't care. You do. I go for blood. All right. I play for keeps. I
don't think they make the playoffs. I think they contend the South, but I don't think they take a playoff.
You take a swipe at me. I'm taking a swipe at two of yours. All right.
No, because I don't. Because what is it? Is it 3 wild cards now?
I don't know.
What is it? Listen,
I'm still sitting here hoping that Saquon tears his ACL walking onto the field, and Kadarius Toney drops everything he ever tries to catch ever. He doesn't get hurt or anything. He just physically cannot. He gets the Chuck Knobloch of drops.
So it's the 4 division winners and the 3 wild cards. The 7 teams make the playoffs. The top team makes gets the bye. That's the new playoff situation. So I don't know.
Those of you listening on radio can't see the look of disgust I'm giving this man right now for talking about this son of a bitch.
You face him game 1. Game 1, Sam Darnold versus the Jets.
I know.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
No, but I honestly don't think they'll make a playoffs. Like I said, I think my prediction for a wild card would be Vikings and probably one of the NFC West teams for that conference. And
so who do you got? Who do you got for the AFC South?
I'm gonna go with my Jacksonville. No, I'm not. I'm not that ridiculous. I'm gonna go with the Titans. I think the Titans boosted up their team. They still have Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, Julio Jones, AJ Brown. That offense is good. The only thing is their defense. They did lose Dory Jackson as a DB, but I don't know. I feel like they're still the team to beat in that division because the division's so weak. Colts, Texans are terrible.
Colts don't have a quarterback right now.
Colts don't have a quarterback right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars are first year coach in NFL, even though he's experienced in college.
Yeah, he's doing terribly so far.
Yeah.
And we all know about the circus that is the Texans, but they're not nearly as much of a circus as the Jets, apparently, even though their quarterback's going around groping women and they've traded away anybody worth having on their franchise, but the Jets are the joke of the NFL.
And they don't have much talent. This is actually sort of on Twitter, the guy from Barstool, PFC commenter posted on Twitter. Can you name 2 or more?
I saw that, and I stopped and I thought about it, and I was like,
at first I couldn't, and then I finally got it together, and I was like, wait, he's still there, so I can put that in there.
I was like,
Who do you have?
Deshaun Watson, and I don't know why, but I always forget that their wide receiver's number, their new number 1 that took over when Hopkins left. I always forget his name. Oh, no, he's gone too. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure he's gone too.
Who are you gonna say?
I was gonna say Fuller.
He's suspended.
Is he? But he's still on the Texans
for PEDs. But he's still on the roster. But he's suspended.
Okay, and then but they have somebody else too.
He's a guy. He's a journeyman. I would say they're a wide receiver. Their big number 1 wide receiver is a journeyman. He's been on several different teams. Brandon Cooks.
Huh? Brandon Cooks. Yeah.
New Orleans, LA, New York.
The weirdest journeyman ever because he's really good.
He's good, but he's been all over.
He's a pain in the balls. That's why.
Yeah, obviously.
Nobody gets rid of somebody who's a great guy and can play football.
He was on the Patriots Super Bowl team that lost to the Eagles.
Yeah.
And then he got traded to the Rams the next year and lost to the Patriots.
Yeah.
So I mean that's just a story.
But yeah, I'm gonna go Titans as well and AFC South winners. I don't see why not. They have a lot of good pieces, competent coaching, and right now they have a bit of a winning culture going on because they're doing very well. That's good.
So a strength of schedule here for the AFC South. We have Colts tied for 23, Jaguars 18, Texans tied for 15th, and then Titans have the highest, tied for 13. So they have the hardest schedule of those teams, but they do have 6 games against the AFC South, which is obviously a positive for them because those teams aren't that good. From there, and I think from there we're moving on to the East divisions here.
The East.
Are we just gonna go Giants, Jets here?
Yeah, absolutely not. No. Yeah, if you want to lose, yeah, go ahead. Pick the Giants and Jets. No, the Bills are going to win the AFC East. That's just how I see it. The Bills are going to win the AFC East. The other 3 teams in that division are starting 2 rookies and Tua Tagovailoa, he of the imaginary N. By the way, Tua wasn't even named captain of his offense just this past week. Put whatever you want into that. The fact that this man has been on the team, this is his 3rd year?
I think
second year?
Second year.
Is it his 2nd year?
I look at it. I think it might be his 2nd, but
there's rookies on other teams that are like, yo, no, that guy's a captain on this team. And Tua, who's been on his team, and his guys know him, are like, yeah, nah, we don't like that guy. Trevor Lawrence is captain of the Jags. Just want to throw that out there.
So is Zach Wilson's the captain of the Jets.
But the Jets are a circus. They're dysfunctional. As opposed to the winners that the Jacksonville Jaguars are and the Houston Texans that are totally functioning at a super high level right now.
Yeah, this is to his 2nd year. Is Mac Jones the captain?
I have no idea. Does Bill Belichick even do captains anymore?
I mean, they always have captains in football. So,
but
like Mike Francesa just going tied 23.
No.
Tied 19 for the Jets. Tied 19 for the Patriots. So they're tied. And then,
well, generally speaking, all those teams are going to have very similar strength of schedules because they all play the same teams.
That's true. That's why they're all bunched up in the same spot usually.
Right.
I do like the Bills too. I think the Dolphins take a step in the right direction this year, but I don't think they win the division either.
I don't think they take a step in the right direction at all.
I always hate having us like pick the same, but like I just don't see.
But you know what though? Like we don't have to. It's not that we're picking the same. It's that the outcome of the game or the outcome of the season. That's the outcome of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be like sitting there going, all right, who's going to win the AFC West and not picking the team that went to the Super Bowl last year. That doesn't make sense. That's crazy. It has nothing to do with like, yeah, we could sit here like Skip Bayless and freaking Shannon Sharp and just sit here and yell at each other with opposing opinions. But one of us would be so stupidly wrong. It would just, why even talk about it at that point?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to go Bills. I was thinking Patriots for
everybody in their right mind is picking either the Bills or the Patriots.
But I just don't know. I mean, Mac Jones, obviously, say he's doing really well, but
I still don't trust Mac Jones because he's a rookie.
I'm not convinced with Mac Jones.
Neither am I. I'm convinced that he's a better option than Cam Newton.
And
that was about it.
And look at the quarterbacks. I mean,
but I was shocked that they cut Cam Newton as opposed to making him the backup.
Yeah. I agree, but you also don't want to back up with a popular name, because then once Mac Jones makes a mistake, everyone's like, "Where the hell's Cam?"
But see, that's not necessarily true, and I'll tell you why. Because Cam Newton's not popular in New England, and that's all that matters. He's not popular in Boston.
And I guess you're right, because Bill Belichick doesn't like give a shit about whatever.
Right.
So
Right. You
but
know, you
still don't want
if
that.
it's a team that hadn't had a quarterback in a lifetime, then yeah, they're going to want the popular name to play.
True.
But at some point, you know, if you got to take into effect, you know, like Bill knows what he's doing.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know?
I agree with that. I do think the Dolphins make a step. I think Zach Wilson has a good year too. Just so you think my Jet hate isn't always there. I think Zach Wilson's.
You don't hate the Jets, you hate me. I feel like Chris McCormick right now.
No, I don't hate you. I don't hate Chris McCormick either. I love you, Chris McCormick.
Shout out to Chris.
And no, not really hate it. I think it's just funny busting your balls about the Panthers. I actually don't really think that. I just wanted to see your reaction.
Friends like you who needs enemies. So let's move on to the NFC East. That is a tough one. I'll say that is a tough one. But I'm gonna go Cowboys.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I was gonna go Cowboys as well, only because
they have a quarter. We know who their quarterback is and why.
Yes,
that makes life so much easier. If you have a quarterback and you know what the guy's doing, then like if I got a quarterback that's competent and somebody goes, "How excited are you for football?" I know what I'm gonna say.
I don't know if he's there. He said he walked away.
Oh, that's the worst. Excited? Feel these nipples. That's how excited I get if I have a competent quarterback that can actually play football at a high level. You immediately have a leg up on Daniel Jones, Jalen Hurts, or Gardner Minshew. Apparently,
not dare you. Daniel Jones, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and
come on. Are we really talking about this?
And Jalen Hurts. I mean, yeah, I was gonna go Cowboys as well. I do like it. I just think the NFC sucks every year.
I mean, the NFC East has sucked even on 2 times that the Giants won the Super Bowl. They sucked.
Yeah, they were bad.
But it doesn't matter if you suck. You could still get hot at the right time and win the Super Bowl. The Giants showed us that.
Yeah, I feel like the defense of the Washington football team is better just because they have Chase
Young.
Chase Young. He was actually on Family Feud the other day. We were watching Celebrity Family Feud. He was on. He did really well on Fast Money. So
I'll say this:
he could win an NFC East division title.
The Washington football team, or Red Wolves, or Red Hogs, or Redskins, or Defenders, or whatever stupid name they want to come up with tomorrow. I always forget about them. I don't know why. Like, they just escape me. I think it's because they haven't been relevant in the last 30 some odd years.
You know, they made the playoffs last year.
I mean, and honestly, a good chunk of the NFL makes the playoffs. Winning the NFC East is like being the smartest kid in special ed. It is. I mean, it's not really something to hang your hat on. We were 9-7. We're great. Are you though? It's like that scene with Thor.
We suck again.
That's the NFC East every year.
But
it's you made the playoffs this year, you didn't make it next year, and it's we suck again. You weren't that good the year before.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this. I think for the last 4 years, the Cowboys have been picked with a good percentage by Vegas to win the Super Bowl. They haven't gotten close.
With Dallas.
Matter of fact, the last 20 years, because they had Romo previously,
and
he never got close.
Yeah, I think with the Washington football team, I would say they haven't really upgraded a quarterback. They had Alex Smith last year and Dwayne Haskins, and now they have Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like, Ryan Fitzpatrick's good, but he's not that. I don't know. I just feel like he's not like that guy. He's not Dak Prescott out of that division. And Daniel Jones, I don't trust.
Absolutely.
They have no offensive line.
Daniel Jones is awful. All right. Daniel Jones is awful at football.
I agree.
Right? I watched the Giants game the other day. He had a great completion percentage. He threw for 88 yards on 22 passes. That's not true. He threw for 110 yards on 22 completions or something like that.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
His yards per attempt was around 7, and that's only because he threw one 25-yard pass where there was a holding that the ref missed the call. And I'm like, all right, so that guy's being held right there. 25-yard completion, that boosts his stats. Otherwise, he'd have had like 17 passes for less than 100 yards. That's awful.
Mhm.
That's really like not good. Dinking and dunking is not good.
No,
It's not going to win you a Super Bowl.
I think they have a decent defense, though. The Giants. I think they got a Dory Jackson, Logan Ryan returned. They have Bradbury in the secondary. The defensive line.
But this is an offensive league. You can have a great defense. That's great. But if you can't score points, it doesn't matter.
I know. I agree.
I learned that the hard way when Rex Ryan was my head coach.
But do you think the Cowboys' defense is good enough to get them to win that NFC East?
I think if it comes to a shootout, listen, it's gotten to the point where you're in a league where the more you control the ball on offense and score points, the more you're going to just drain the defense. And it doesn't matter how good they are anymore.
It's true.
You know, like it goes hand in hand. Either you're a great defense and you shut down good offenses, or you're a terrible offense and a mediocre defense looks phenomenal against you. So while the Giants might have a great defense, is their defense better than the Cowboys offense?
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then is the Cowboys defense good enough to contend with the Giants offense? Because they might be just because the Giants have no offensive line whatsoever.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they got Swiss cheese. They have a cheese grater up front with holes in it, just waiting to sack their quarterback.
Yeah, I don't trust their offensive line, the Giants, enough. So I think I'm with you. I think I'm going to Cowboys too. I think most of the time we agreed. In this, I was thinking about Washington only because I like their defense, but I just don't think. I don't know. I just think they have enough offense. They do have Antonio Gibson though, who's a very
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. I don't know. Washington doesn't even have their own freaking team name.
You know what? I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go Washington football team.
That's just so that we don't agree. That's just stupid.
Back to back, the first back to back NFC East champion, I think, in like 20 years, because NFC East always changes who wins.
They all suck equally.
That's why they always they're kind
and then at some point one of them will get hot for like 4 games and win the Super Bowl. It's crazy.
Yeah,
but it won't be the Cowboys.
Or the Eagles. No, the Eagles won a championship.
The Eagles won a Super Bowl like 3 years ago.
I know. Eagles.
Because again, they got hot for 4 games at the end of the year.
I don't think the Eagles. This is not the Eagles year. I think it's the Giants year. I think it's going to be between Washington football team and the Cowboys.
Yeah. But that being said, I just want to point out that let's go over our picks for this week.
I went over. I just have it written down, so we save this for later to see how wrong we are.
Pin it, or how right we are,
or how right we are.
I would say most people probably have the same picks that we do.
I would say similar. Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I'm not the smartest man in the world. I'm not a smart man, but I'm not an idiot either. And I watch the news as well, at least the sporting news, the only true news there is. The league kicks off tomorrow night at 8:20 on NBC. Cowboys at Bucks. Who you got, Rook?
Cowboys at Bucks. We doing spread or just picking winner?
Just picking a winner.
Well, for those of you who like the spread right now is at minus. I'm sorry, I said minus, but the Tampa Bay Bucks are favored by 8.5 points. I think it's a large spread. If I was to do spread, I'd probably pick. I think it's a large spread for first game of the year, but it's Super Bowl champs against Dallas Cowboys and missing Zach Martin. I'm going to go Bucks to win, not based on the spread. I guess if I'm going spread, maybe I'll go Cowboys because plus 8.5 is a lot. They got to win by a touchdown and a field goal pretty much.
I would take that. And I'll tell you why I'll take that. Who's the Cowboys going to put on Gronk? Now, Gronk's not the Gronk of old.
No, he's
not. But they still don't have a linebacker to cover him.
That's true.
You know, and he's in the red zone. He's that guy to contend with. And I just got back from Arizona, so I'm feeling a little Gronkish. Feeling a little Gronkish.
Boy,
I'm going to go Bucks to win, though.
quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
But all right, so we're going there. So next game after that is the Jags at the Texans.
But you picked Bucks too, right?
I'm picking the Bucks to win.
Okay.
Actually, I'm picking the Bucks to win and cover the spread.
Okay.
I can see them winning by 2 touchdowns or touchdown and a field goal.
Okay. So where we going next? Is Seahawks.
Jags, Texans.
Jags, Texans. Ugh. Jags are favored on the road. I hate the home dogs. That's a tough one.
I'm picking the Texans. All right. I'm picking the Texans. It's Urban Meyer's first game. It's Trevor Lawrence's first game. Somebody on the Jags is going to get traded within the next day and a half. One of their defenders, who's an amazing defender, is going to get traded.
You know what?
I'm picking the Texans all day, every day, twice on Sunday.
I'm going to go Jags.
You're a bold man, Cotton.
I am. I'm not picking the spread on that game, though, so don't ask me who's going to cover it.
So the next game up is the Chargers at the Washington football team, stupidest name in sports. And I will pick the Los Angeles, formerly San Diego Chargers.
Their spread game is 1, so Chargers are getting 1, and football team's given 1. I would go with you as well. I'm going Chargers.
Next game up.
And I would take them to cover the +1, obviously, as well.
Okay. Next game up, we've got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Indianapolis Colts. And I think that's an easy one for the entire world to pick. I'm going Seahawks, considering the Colts still don't have a quarterback.
Did they not name one? Did they even name who started in that game?
I actually think they picked somebody up recently, but whoever it is not important enough worth talking about.
I'm going to go with you. I'm going with Seahawks. The spread in that game is -2.5 for the Seahawks. So they're given 2.5. But I'm going to go Seahawks. I'm not going to pick the spread on that one, but I'm going to go Seahawks. Only because it's, once again, I'm sorry, wait, you didn't pick the Colts. You picked the Seahawks.
I picked the Seahawks.
Only because, once again, it's a home dog. You never know. It's a tough one.
So the next game we've got is the New York Football Jets. Yes. Against the Carolina Panthers. That's North Carolina Panthers, by the way.
North Carolina.
They played Charlotte. That's North Carolina.
Now you're going to call me crazy. I'm going to take the Jets +4.5, but not to win. I'm going to take the Panthers to win.
I'm picking the Jets to win. I don't think Sam Darnold's got it.
Wow.
I think he's going to get shook by the Jets' interior defensive line, because the Panthers' interior offensive line is trash. Is trash. Yeah, I'm basically doing the exact opposite of my pick on the Jags with Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence.
You are,
because I think Robert Saleh, he's a rookie head coach, but he has coached in the
NFL experience too.
He has coached in the NFL.
Has Urban Meyer
not be shocked, huh?
Urban Meyer's never coached in the NFL, right?
Not as a defensive, not an offensive defensive coordinator or a head coach.
Nothing, right?
And I also think that what's his face? Our offensive coordinator is a little bit smarter than the average Bear, because he's basically running Kyle Shanahan's offense, which he already knows, and Zach Wilson kind of tailored for. So I think that I don't think Robbie Anderson's as good as everybody makes him out to be, especially if Sam Darnold has to throw to him 20 times a game. But Christian McCaffrey might be that good. But again, he's going to have to run up the gut against that stout 3 interior linemen that the Jets have.
Yeah.
Because they don't always run 2 defensive ends. They sometimes run a nose tackle and 2 defensive tackles.
Yeah.
Good luck running through that crap with freaking Quinnen Williams, Folorunso Fatukasi, and friggin' Sheldon Rankins in the middle. And then you have TJ Mosley in the middle as well.
Yeah.
So, playing his Mike position. So I'm going to go with the Jets to win. I just think that they're riding high right now, especially Sam Darnold barely played in the preseason.
Mm-hmm. So next game, Cardinals-Titans. Cardinals are getting 3 points.
I'm picking the Titans to win. I sense a lot of dysfunction from the Cardinals.
I'm going to go Cards +3. I can see the Titans winning that one.
So next one up is Vikings-Bengals. That's a tough one. But my cousin Tony is a huge Vikes fan. So I'm going to go with the Vikes to win.
I'm gonna go Vikings too.
because I still don't know what Joe Burrow is going to look like coming off knee surgery. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree too. Steelers, Bills.
Bills.
Large spread. Bills are given 6.5.
I'm picking the Bills to win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bills too on that one. Not picking the spread though.
San Fran versus the Lions of Detroit, or if you're French, Detroit. And I am going to pick the Niners. Niners to win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you on that one too. I'm going Niners. That's the Lions are getting plus 7.5. So the Niners are favored by a touchdown.
Again, is Matt Patricia still their head coach?
No, it's that. What's his name?
Oh, yes. The guy who's going to bite people's ankles.
The guy who said he wants a pet lion on the field.
He did his interview and he was just like, we're going to start biting kneecaps and shit. Yeah, that nut job.
That motherfucker's crazy.
Yeah.
Eagles, Falcons. Eagles are getting 3 points.
I'm picking the Falcons.
Falcons. I'm actually gonna go Eagles on that one.
You're going Eagles with Jalen Hurts out there?
Hell yeah.
It hurts me to know that you picked that. Browns, Chiefs. I am picking Los Chiefs de Kansas City because my cousin Omar is a big Chiefs fan. He lives out there in Leavenworth, Kansas. Shout out to Omar.
I think we're both Chiefs there. To win that one.
Here's a tough one. Green Bay at the Saints in, where'd you say they were playing there? Jacksonville?
They're playing in Jacksonville, yeah.
Ain't that sad. I'm going Green Bay to win for Ace and Crash.
I'm gonna take Saints plus 3.5.
Okay.
That's the spread. And then Packers. I think Packers probably win that game as well. Even though it is a weird game because both teams are away.
Now here's a tough question. Broncos at the New York Giants of football.
I'm going to go with Giants just because it's Giants.
And I'll tell you why I'm going Broncos. 2 words.
Jones sucks.
Von Miller.
Yeah, he's going to destroy that offensive line.
I don't be shocked if your boy Daniel Jones has a season-ending injury in the first game of the season and Colt McCoy is the quarterback for the rest of the season. Von Miller is dangerous, all right?
He is dangerous.
Those glasses come off and that helmet comes on, and Von Miller means business, ladies and gentlemen. And there's nobody on that Giants offensive line that can stop him. Is Saquon Barkley playing on Sunday?
I don't think so. He's questionable. But hey, you went Jets. I'm going to go Giants and pick my sport.
Yeah, I picked my Jets because they actually have a chance to win. I mean, they're playing against their old quarterback who they dumped. So it's like if you were in a competition against your ex-wife, like who are you picking to win?
That's true.
All right, so we've got Dolphins at Patriots.
Former Alabama quarterbacks.
Yeah, the battle of the Crimson Tides. I am going to go with the Patriots. Patriots to win. They're at home. They have the home field advantage. I honestly have zero faith in he of the silent N, Tua Tango Vailoa. And I just can't see them going up there and winning in Foxborough.
I agree. Going Pats. I just don't think Tua is going to win. Even though I think I did say Dolphins pick a step. I just don't think they start off hot against this. The spread right now is 3 points. I don't see the Dolphins winning that game or covering the spread. So
the last game, the Sunday night game, we'll see the Bears go up against the Los Angeles, formerly St. Louis Rams,
who are favored
by quarterback Matthews, the Golden Gun Stafford. And obviously there probably will be some quarterback controversy at halftime of that game. But I'm going to pick the Rams to win because, like I said, there will be some quarterback controversy by at least halftime with the Bears.
I'm going to go Rams too. The spread is large, but the Bears aren't that great. I usually don't like picking against large spreads, but I think I'm going to do it here. I'm going to go 7.5 for Rams. They get in touchdown. It's a lot, but I think it's the best bet there.
I don't think that's a lot.
Against the Bears? No.
And then, of course, the Monday night game, you have the Baltimore Ravens, which I just found out they were named the Ravens because of Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
I did not know he was from the Baltimore area or lived in the Baltimore area.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah, I don't care. But that's cool. Quote the Raven, nevermore. And it'll be the Baltimore Ravens at the Las Vegas Raiders. And I'm gonna pick the Raiders because I just got back from Vegas this morning. I took the red eye, and I got back from Vegas this morning at 6 something this morning. So I'm going with the Raiders. Chucky comes back with a vengeance. Primetime television. He loves it in the spotlight. So I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
I'm gonna go Raiders for our boy Rich, who's a big
Gannon?
fan. What's that?
Gannon?
Yeah, Rich Gannon. No, our boy Rich is a huge
Rich Rads, huge Raiders fan.
He back when they were in Oakland, not just because they're Vegas. So I'm gonna go Raiders, and I like them +4 against the Ravens.
All right. So
We're
that
on the
gives us
we're on
our
the
picks of the week.
We have one more pick to make.
Starting to play that Oscars music.
All right. One last pick we have here is NFL MVP. I say MVP or MVP?
You said MVP.
Because that's the
Not
Nickelodeon.
valuable player.
No, the Nickelodeon Award, MVP. So we have the MVP award for the NFL. You want me to give you some odds on here, Nick?
Yeah, talk to me about that.
We got Pat Mahomes the favorite at +500. Aaron Rodgers second, +1,000. Josh Allen at +1,200. Russell Wilson +1,400. Tom Brady +1,400. And Lamar Jackson +1,600 for the top 6. Murray, Prescott, Stafford, Herbert round out the top 10.
I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers coming back as MVP simply because he's trying to leave the Packers. And I feel like he's going to go out with a bang so that he can go and get his next big thing going.
I'm going to go with Josh Allen.
Can I get a little bang bang action from Cactus Jack on that? Because with Aaron Rodgers going out with a bang.
All right, we're not that advanced. I don't have all the drops.
Oh, come on. Next time I say bang, I want to hear some Cactus Jack. Bang, bang.
And I'm going Josh Allen.
You going with Josh Allen? Okay, it's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see how that pans out for him.
I do a lot of bold predictions here.
He's not going to be able to see very well.
All right, I'm gonna throw out random team name to you, Nick. Last thing we're gonna do, then we're gonna wrap this up here. Over under, I'm gonna give you a random team, completely random, just scrolling through. Arizona Cardinals under over 8.5, Nick.
Wow. I'm gonna go under. I don't know why. I have a bad feeling about them this year. I don't know why. I don't feel good about them. I heard about some controversy they had in the offseason. I don't recall what it was, but I remember thinking, really? That's messed up.
All right, so I'm going to randomize, pick what team I'm going to have to do the over-under for. Seahawks over-under 10.
Over.
I'm trying to think. I feel like that Nfc West is always hard. What, 10 would be 10-7? That means they have to go 11-6, though, because 10's a push. That sucks because it's a push of it at 10. I'm going to go.
The only team I can see them losing to in their own division is the Rams. And seeing how the Rams lost to the Jets last year.
Yeah, I'm going to go over 10. I think it's.
Didn't the Seahawks lose to the Rams in the playoffs?
They did. They did. All right. And I think that's about it for our NFL predictions, NFL preview for the new 2021 season. Looking forward to game 1 tomorrow. Thursday Night Football. I'm tuning in.
How excited are you for football?
My nipples are hard. Is that what?
Case you're excited. Feel these nipples.
Exactly.
We got to drops, Joe. We got to get another one.
I just want the Cactus Jack one. I just need a Cactus Jack one.
Play us out with a little NFL football theme music.
There you go.
Frozen tundra of Green Bay.
It's Lambeau Field, the frozen tundra.
All right. Well, this was fun, Nick. Enjoyed it. Joe, thank you for producing us, bringing us along this live show. And hopefully we'll be doing more of these.
Absolutely.
In case people missed it, they'll be able to re-listen to it with a nice, beautiful link.
Yep, it'll be posted on Sokoa Media. It'll be posted on YouTube and all that good stuff.
Podcast as well.
Apple Podcast. Follow us on Twitter. We're doing reviews of minor league ballparks, breweries, distilleries. Shoot, I don't know. We might even take a trip down up to the Baseball Hall of Fame and see how that goes. I think we might go up to Cooperstown and not visit the Hall of Fame. Go to like Cooperstown Distillery.
Just a drink. The
Just
beer.
Yeah,
drink.
Jeets.
It's 2 bars that are in the entire town.
You just say, yeah, Jeets.
Yeah, Jeets. Yeah, Jeets. Yeah,
That's
Jeets.
what he says as he jerks off watching himself on TV.
Yeah, it's us, dude. He's on his chest. Yeah, Jeets. Yeah, Jeets.
All right. Well, from all of us over here at the Scoreboard Addicts podcast on Sokoa Media on what are we on? MixLR. MixLR, thank you for spending this time with us. You guys have a great day and stay classy.
Stay rock.